guys, it's Blender Kid here, and in this video we are going to be making a falling Keva plank tower. So, first of all, we are not going to delete everything. We are just going to delete these, not the cube. And here, let me turn my screencast keys on for you guys. So, first of all, we need to make the Keva planks. So we can turn on snap here and grab this on the z-axis, and then planks aren't this thick, so let's turn this to 1. Yeah, that should work. And then we can turn up the Y to 10, and that's a decent sized Keva plank, even though it's 10 meters by 1 meter by 10 meters by 2 meters. Scale wise, it's decent. You have to apply scale to this because it's a gigantic thing, and so it could cause problems with the rigid body simulation. So now we have our plank made, and that's fine and dandy. But now we need to make the tower. So let's grab it in top-down view and drag it to about, actually no, let's rotate it on the scene by 90. Just leave that there. Then we're going to press Shift D and get us a new one. Rotate that on the Z-axis by 90 again. And then grab that and move it here. Turn off snap. Just grab it and move it just on top of that. And then we can Shift D to duplicate it again and put it on the other side. Now we can just grab this and move it there, and duplicate that and move it here. So this is not what we want. We don't want these corners to be inside of each other. So first of all, I forgot a step. We need rigid body physics first. So, yes, you delete yours too. Rigid body, add a rigid body physics to this, change it to box, surface response, you can turn the friction up to about 0.75, and then the sensitivity should be 0, nothing. Then we can turn on deactivation down here and start deactivated. Start deactivated just makes it so that it stays in its spot even if gravity is affecting it. It stays there until a force equal to 0.4 meters a second or greater hits it, and then it will start acting with gravity. So that's what we want, because we don't want all the planks to just fall over before we hit it with something. So now it's at that. So that's a good start. So now we can make the tower. So put this there by duplicating it, and then we duplicate it again. We can put it in the middle here, and then rotate it the Z-axis by 90. Then we can grab it and move it right over to the edge here. And then, since that's not right, we can move this over to the edge. Then we can go to this view so we can see it side view down. Yes. Then we gotta grab this on the Z-axis so we can put it right up against this. So the important thing about rigid bodies is to not leave gaps, because if you do, then it will just not work properly. So you're going to zoom in as far as you possibly can and bring that piece down until it is barely not touching. So now it is basically just touching it. Have this on the y-axis a little bit there. Okay, so now we can go back to top down view, which I believe is numpad 5. So, or yeah, it is numpad 7, sorry. So, I don't use the numpad buttons very often, I just press these up here. So then we can duplicate this, and let's do it on the x-axis so it's straight over. And we can line that up pretty close. So now all of these have rigid body physics. So this is our basic tower here. This is the basic setup. And we just repeat this up until as high as you want, actually. So what I'm going to do now to make it easy, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to grab these two at the bottom. Or no. Yeah, I'm going to grab these two. It's going to select two of them because there's two there. So you want to select them. And then how tall are these? These are 2 meters. So you want these to go up by 2 meters. So Shift D on the Z-axis by 2. And that puts it up that far. But I don't want to do that. So I want to grab these. Actually, no, let's undo duplicate. So we're going to do Shift D, rotate on the Z-axis by 90. Then we're going to grab it on the Z-axis by 2. So that is the next part, next, added part. So now we can select these again, or no, now we can select these, and then press Shift D, and then 4. Okay, right click, don't do that. Undo that, Shift D, Z, 4. And now that you've done that, don't unselect them yet. Now that you've done that, you can press Control R or Shift R, and then it will repeat the process that you just did. Oh man, I messed it up. I messed it up. Okay, I will have to do it again. So, select these, Shift D, Z, 4. Now, you can press Shift R as many times as you want until the tower is decently tall. So now that you have your tower finished, that's great. So select one of them, or actually, yeah, just select one of them, then select all of them, then go to Object, Rigid Body, Calculate Mass. And now, Keva planks are made of pine wood, but you can choose any of these that you want, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to go to timber, right there, that's wood. So each of these are 12,000 kilograms. That's pretty interesting. They're so heavy. But now, that's great. Nothing happens when we press play. We can shorten this to like 100 frames. Don't need it to be very long. So, now that we have this tower set up, we need to add a floor for it to come in contact with. So, Shift A and add a plane. And then scale that plane by 10. Oh, that's too small. By 15. Yeah, that'll do. Since this is on such a large scale, you have to scale it up bigger. So, and then you go to Rigid Body and click on this. Instead of active, it needs to be passive. And then convex hull is fine. So passive makes it a solid rigid body object, but it makes it so that it stays there. Nothing happens to it. So you can turn the friction up on that, bouncing this a little bit, and then turn on collision margin 0, and that does it for our floor. So now what we need to do is animate a ball hitting the tower. So since our tower here is in the middle of our scene, what we can do is just Shift A and add in a UV sphere or Iger sphere, it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to grab that and move it over, let's say there, just wherever, as long as it's a little higher than where you want it to hit and it's far away from the tower. Now we can scale this up by about that much, however much you want the ball to hit, and then we can just shade that smooth. And then we can add a rigid body active to that and change the shape to sphere. Turn the friction up on that, change the collision margin to 0, and don't check deactivation because we're going to be animating this. So unanimated, this would just fall and hit the ground. That's not very interesting. So we need to check animated and go to, let's say, frame 10, and then set our frame rate to 30 FPS. And then we need to keyframe animate this. But luckily, in our case, this is very easy to do. So all we have to do is go over to this animated button thing and either hover over it with your mouse, press I, or you can click on this little button back here and that will keyframe it also. So now it's keyframed. So let's go 5 frames ahead and grab the ball and move it inside your tower wherever you want it to be. For me, I just want it to be right here, to hit right there. So then I'm going to click this button again. And since it's the same keyframe, it's going to add this here. That's like a hold. So now, when you go through your frames, it is not animated. I didn't animate it yet. This was animating the physics properties. So now you gotta go to the object properties tab and go back to frame 10 and then grab your object, move it back to where it was. I'm only a kid, I make mistakes. Then you're gonna hover over your mouse, hover your mouse over this, press I to keyframe the location of it. Then you're gonna go to your 5 frames ahead, grab your ball again, move it inside of your tower, then keyframe this location again. So now your ball is keyframed to hit the tower. It's gonna if I play, it's gonna hit the tower and the ball's just gonna stay there. I don't want the ball to just sit there. I want it to fall with all the other pieces. So we're going to go back to this side view and we are going to zoom in close, and the frame before it hits, here, really quick, let me uncheck this animated, just don't check that yet. On this frame, on the frame before that frame, you're gonna keyframe animated. Then the next frame, it's gonna glitch out because the cache is all weird, but this is the frame that it was about to hit. Then you're going to uncheck animated and check it. So now, if we play, it's going to hit it and nothing's gonna happen. Well, it hit it with physics, but these are so heavy that 1 kilogram is not going to do anything. So we need to set this to 100,000 kilograms. I don't even know if that's 100,000. Is that 100,000? Let me see. Yes, that is 100,000. Good. Okay. So now, if we go back, it's going to hit these and just go straight through them. That's too much. So we're going to lower this to like 20,000. So now it hits it, still goes flying, so let's go 10,000. There we go. Let's go 5,000. Just gotta fiddle with it to where you like it. I like that, so I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna extend my thing to 150 and go to this Shapes tab and go to Rigid Body World, Cache, and change this to 150. So now your tower gets hit by a ball and falls. But oh, Landon, I thought you were gonna texture everything like you did in your last video and explain how to render it. Well, in this video, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not gonna show you how to render any of this, but I will show you how to texture it. So let's go into Look Dev View and go to select the ball. Usually with balls, I make it a metallic color. So, a metallic material. So, as common sense says, turn metallic all the way up. It's already pretty good. And then we can go down to the roughness right here and either turn that all the way down so it's a mirror ball, or adjust this to where you want. For me, I'm just going to leave it at about 0.4. That usually works out for me just fine. You can also change the color of your metal ball to whatever you want. Or, my other favorite thing to do with throwing balls is changing it to an emission, turning it up to about 5, and then changing the color to some exotic color like bright green or neon orange or a light blue or something like that. And then you can change it to a, diffuse, and turn the roughness, oh wait, never mind. Where is it? Regular shader. Principled BSDF, there it is, okay. Sorry. There's a thing in my way and I can't see it. So, if you want this to be a glass ball, you turn the metallic down and turn the roughness all the way down to 0. Then you're going to go to transmission and turn that to 1. So now there's stuff going through it, but it's hard to see. So you're going to go to IOR and change this till you see your and go to rendered view. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's just add a light. Let's make it a sun so we can see. Come on. Change this to like 10. Then we can turn the specular all the way down. And then we go to this here. And then we can change the IOR. I guess that so we don't see anything. I might need to review how to make a glass ball. I might need to look at how to do a glass ball, but yeah, I'll figure this out. Roughness down. That down. Ah, yes. Of course. In the Render Properties tab, enable screen space reflections and enable refraction. Forgot to do that. That's it. So now you can see it's reflecting our stuff. So now if we look at our ball here, we can go down to the IOR and change this, I guess, until we see something. I guess 0 is fine. So now it's reflecting stuff. And then we can add an HDRI. Resolution 1. There we go. Okay. Now that that's loaded in, we have accurate lighting and can delete this sun. And then our ball here is not reflecting what I want it to. So let's go to the IOR. Why isn't it showing the... Here, let's go to these frames. Maybe I need to add a material to all these cubes. Let's just try that. Add a material. We already have our mirror ball. That's all fine and dandy. But let's take our cubes here. Select this, and then select all these. Go to here. Oh yeah, this has a material. Can make it just like a brownish color. For now. That looks okay. So, I'm not 100% sure why I'm not seeing the glass in here. But I will make a tutorial on how to do glass. So I'll post a video on that if you whenever this is posted. And you'll know how to make glass. So I'm just gonna make this my metallic. Okay. Alright, so that's all great now. So now we can play this. And then the ball hits it and knocks all these planks around. But oh, Landon, it's too slow. Well, guess what? I don't care. I'll fix it anyway. So you can go to the rigid body world here and turn up the speed to, let's say, 5. So now the rigid body is going to go a lot faster. So now it looks like it's something in real life. Let's change it to 2.5. So now it's a lot faster if you wanted it to be faster. That actually looks pretty cool. I'll keep that. But the thing about this is instead of increasing your frame rate so that you have to render more frames for less time, you change this and you have faster movement in the same amount of frames. So now we can set this back to 100 because we don't need all that anymore. So that actually looks pretty good. I like that. So now we are going to change this. It's too dark of a color. I don't select this one. Oh, that's the one that changes all of them. Okay, that's great. Let's lighten this up a bit to like, let's do hex. No. Just gotta fiddle around with this texture, with this color. I will also do another video on how to make textures. So that's pretty much it. And you can like add a camera and then find the view you want. And then Control Alt Numpad 0 brings the camera to your view. And you can press this button and zoom out a little bit. And so when you press camera, it renders this. And then we can press, go to the render layer, this tab, go to film, and then click transparent. And so now you don't see the background. And we can like duplicate this plane. And then grab it and set it up behind here. Just have that behind there so that you don't see anything. And so we can take this plane and add a new material to it, and then we can change this to like a nice matte blue color. And then the bottom plane we could set to how about a matte red like that? That actually, I like that a lot. So this looks pretty great. So just do that. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hit the like button so I know that you want me to post more videos. Leave comments in other videos that you would like me to make, like suggestions for tutorials. share this to all your friends that use Blender, I guess, so they can get some tutorials. Also, if you make this, post links in the description so I can watch your videos too. And I guess that's it. I finished. Hopefully this was helpful, and see you in the next video.